So, welcome everyone. And I want to thank everyone who's joining live and everyone who's watching later because I do know that, you know, I have somebody in the waiting room. Excuse me one second. There we go, I think. Yeah, this was rather last minute. So yeah, thank you for jumping on. It was something that I had just done an event, what, 2 weeks ago, I believe, maybe 3 weeks ago. And I
Mm.
just remembered, oh my goodness, we're coming up onto this really powerful time, the Lion's Gate, which I seem to forget every year until it's right here in front of me. And yeah, I didn't want everybody to miss out on this opportunity because this is such a peak period for manifestation. So I'd love to see by a show of either digital hands or regular hands, how many of you know about the Lion's Gate and you know what it's all about? Okay, Catherine, you know. Uh, Laura, Stephanie. All right. Roots, of course. Roots is our, yeah, he's our resident everything. Terrific.
Spiritualist.
Got a
Yes.
lot of hats to wear, but there was one year that I literally was channeling Sekhmet for 22 days, specifically around Lionsgate. So that was a fun time. Yeah, I kind
Wow.
of got an idea about what it's about.
Just a little bit. So yeah, it's a super powerful time. And Stephanie, can I have you keep an eye on the waiting room? A little blue dot will show up to let you know that people are coming in. But it's a very powerful time. It opens up different times every year, but this year it was around July 26th. And it closes on August 12th. So we are literally right in the midst of it right now with August 8th, 8/8 being the peak time for manifestation, which is why I wanted to do this event today. But also what I want you to keep in mind is that date on the calendar could pass by very easily unnoticed. But because awareness is people are waking up to it. People are waking up to the fact that there's something bigger than us. You know, many of you were around in the early 90s when The Secret first came out, and that was like a new thing to most of humanity. Now, yeah, there was a small group of people who knew and understood and studied this stuff, like the Neville Goddards of the world, the Napoleon Hills, and Andrew Carnegie's. But for the most part, most of the population was not aware of this stuff. And spiritualism, people didn't know about it. Metaphysics, most people didn't know about it. It was kind of that woo-woo side, you know. And I know back in the day, I didn't know anything about it. But as humanity is waking up and more of us get together on this auspicious day of 8/8, the more energy we bring to the collective manifestation. And that's why this is so important. Because, you know, if it were, you know, one or two groups of people getting together here and there, yeah, there's a lot of energy in that. But when we have now people across the world getting together, it's mind blowing, right? So it's just a really amazing time of the year and considered to be one of the most powerful cosmic moments of the entire year. So this year, Lionsgate, well, every year it's when the sun aligns in Leo and Cyrus rising and Orion's belt, which that creates that gateway between the physical and the spiritual worlds. And like I said, today is the peak day. But this year it actually coincides with the August full moon, which they call the Sturgeon moon, which is the last full moon of the summer. And that the full moon is at its peak tomorrow. So we have a really fun event planned for, well, I shouldn't say event. What I'm going to do, you'll notice that I'll have posts coming up every day. I'm going to do a live every day between now and the 12th. And it will be at 1 p.m. Eastern time, which is 11 o'clock my time. I'm on Mountain time. So 1 p.m. every day. except Sunday. I have something Sunday afternoon. I'm going to a barbecue, so I'll either do it before, after, or while I'm at the barbecue. But I promise you, I will go live. And in the Facebook group, I'll have fun activities for every day that I'm going to explain in a little bit more detail as we go through the presentation today. Now, with all of that said, Stephanie is going to be a guest speaker, and she's going to talk to us about how bringing in, when you're manifesting, a lot of this has to do with shifting identity. So, Stephanie, for those of you who don't know her, is a stylist. She lives in LA. She's worked on the red carpet. She's worked with many big names that most of us would recognize from the movie industry. And so for her to share with us her knowledge on style, on becoming that person, and how we shift our identity into that is going to be a real treat. So thank you, Stephanie. Super excited to hear your presentation. Did you want
When
to
is
say
that
something?
again?
What's that?
When is that happening?
Right
She,
today.
yeah, she's
Right
giving
now.
it to
Today. But what I think what we forgot to mention, an intuitive stylist, I think it's a little different than just a fashion stylist.
you.
It is connecting with one's soul, their identity. And since Mindy was going to be talking about identity and knowing that this Lionsgate is full of transformation and manifestation, that's where style does come in to play that role as you are her now, him now,
Mhm.
so I asked Mindy, can I just share? And also it's launching my business, because I'm like God's best kept secret out there, so I just want to kind of launch it and let people know. And because I just want to take people's, take your hand and step into that portal and tell you how to manifest it even more along with Mindy. So thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. And thank you for sharing. Yeah, so we're really raising the vibe. And with that, I love, love, love for my presentations to be very interactive. So for those of you who like to share, I know Roots does, he's our character. But I would love this to be an interactive presentation because there again, it raises the energy. Remember, the rising tide raises all ships or all boats. So that's how energy is. The higher we can bring our energy, the more electricity, the more juice we're putting behind our manifestation during this already amazing portal. So today's energy is all about accelerating our personal growth, getting very clear on our vision, not just today, but today through the 12th, in this fun little activity we're going to do in the Facebook group. And if you're not in the Facebook group, if you are in my school community, I'll also do it in the school community. So I'll make posts on both sites. But and it also helps us to access that highest level of creative power that each and every one of us has. So for those of you who are new to me, don't know me, I became a life coach 3 years ago. 3 years ago, July, actually. So my anniversary was last month. And I became a life coach after 25 years in real estate because in the back of my mind, I had always wanted to live, eat, pray, love. Like I shared it with everybody. I shared the book with everybody. I bought the book from my real estate clients. Like I loved that book. It changed my life. But I couldn't see ever getting to live that life as a real estate agent because as a real estate agent, you're really limited to your geographic location. So I lived in Northeast Florida, and that was my geographic location. And I extended out toward the Orlando area for a little while, but it takes years to build up a real estate business. It's not an overnight business. Actually, now I know, knowing the mindset that I know, that it doesn't take years, but I was trained to believe that it took years. And in today's world, knowing what we know about manifestation, we can collapse time on any of our dreams. So, long story short, in 2021, September, I was in a deep meditation and heard very loud and clear from my inner voice that I was supposed to be a life coach. And my first thought was, oh God, anything but that. Because everybody in Florida is a realtor. Everybody's in network marketing, and I had tried my hand at network marketing, and everybody's a life coach. So those were the stories that I had going on in my mind at the time. And I didn't want to necessarily start a new career at the age of 26. I just wanted the money to fall in my lap, right? I just wanted to be an instant millionaire and be able to live that life and travel all over the world and go meditate in ashrams. But the universe really does lead us down a path where we can impact the most lives. And so sometimes we can't see that what our end result is going to be. We can't see why we're on that path, which is why I wanted to talk to you, all of you today, because we're opening the path up. We're taking those blinders off. You know, in 2021, when I heard that voice, all I knew how to do was real estate. And I kind of understood network marketing, although I could never get it off the ground. But I knew real estate and I knew how to do real estate. So I couldn't see the opportunities coming at me every single day because I had those blinders on. So today, my hope for all of you is that we take those blinders off so we can live our best lives. Like I said, this is my third year of life coaching. Same year, well, 2021, I came on vacation in December to Costa Rica, manifested this house that I'm sitting in. I was here 3 weeks when this house came to me. I was not looking for a home. And that's what starts to happen when we're on this manifestation journey. So this time of the year is super powerful, but we need to learn how to connect. So anybody have anything you want to share before I jump into the presentation? Lisa, so nice to see you. All right, so I'm going to just go ahead and jump in then. So I want to start off with how many of us, we have blocks. We have blocks that are keeping us from actually living our best lives. And those blocks are the thing that's also keeping us from maybe even hearing our intuition. I know I had a ton of them. Had it not been for the meditative work that I was doing, I don't know that I would actually be sitting here with all of you today. I could have read all the books, attended all the Tony Robbins seminars, and the other guy who has you breaking the arrow on your esophagus and all that stuff, and still been sitting in Florida right now doing real estate, completely burnt out on the career that, you know, I had been in for 25 years at that time. So we want to look at what are those blocks that are holding us back. And I can tell you, it took me many years to uncover this stuff because I was in the wrong modality of personal development. I was in personal development that was really rah, rah, set your goals, let's go as fast and hard as we can, rather than taking a look inside to see what was holding me back. Why were 19-year-olds coming into this network marketing business and literally within a year making $1 million and having these teams all over the world? And here I was plotting around 9 years later, you know, growing a team breaking up, growing a team breaking up. Well, it was because I had these blocks. So if you have your journals with you, I would love for you to take some notes because these are some of the things that we're going to really focus on tomorrow, with tomorrow being the height of the full moon. We have a fun little exercise we're going to do around these blocks. So the first one is overwhelm. Overwhelm is not a discipline problem. It is not a time management problem. It's the fact that even though that cell phone was supposed to make our life easier, and the internet was supposed to make our life easier, I know many of you were, you know, around the same time I was growing up, and life didn't seem overwhelming at that time. In fact, it felt like we had more time. And I know even when I first got into real estate, we didn't, cell phones, the smaller ones were just coming out. They had those ones that looked like, you were like trying to call Mars or something, but the small pocket ones were just coming out and not everybody had them. So I got my first cell phone when my girls were just infants, but still not everybody had them and the phone wasn't ringing off the hook. But it started to get to the point where even in real estate, just a few short years later, people forgot that you're calling a human. And maybe 11 o'clock at night isn't a good idea to do that, right? But they were doing it. And then I remember when text messaging came along and I was just so resistant to texting. I'm like, oh, why can't people just pick up the phone and call? But again, forgetting that, personal boundaries, 11, 12, 1 in the morning, not a good time to go texting people. So the world started crowding in on our personal space, on our personal time. So overwhelm has become a word over the last, I would say, 20 years that has hit almost everyone because we're living in a constant state of reaction, a constant state of trying to get more done with the same 24 hours that we've always had. And so overwhelm is an energy block that keeps us stuck. And it doesn't matter how hard we work. Yes, Roots, it's a lack of boundaries, right? And most of us don't even know how to create those boundaries because it was like the slow burn, the cell phones and internet and everything else. It's just this slowly creeping up on us to where we created habits that we didn't even realize that we had allowed to dominate our world. And so we need to step back and ask ourselves, where do I lack those boundaries? And so I tell my clients all the time, boundaries aren't for other people. Boundaries are for us. So if someone's calling you after hours, texting you, expecting things from you, when it should be your quiet time with your family or yourself in your journal, we need to set boundaries. We don't answer the phone during that time or we don't text back. Trust me when I tell you, if you just do that one thing, you're going to eliminate so much of the overwhelm in your life. But overwhelm is one of those things, like I said, it creeps in. Oftentimes we don't even know that we're living in it. We're just so reactionary. So I really want you to look at those areas. In fact, right now, take a minute and journal. Where are you feeling overwhelm in your life? And that could be financially, that could be too many demands from the humans in your life, whether it's the clients, family members, kids. Um, Roots is laughing. He cracks me up on all my events. He's so expressive. I think you were meant to be an actor, Roots. But yeah,
I grew, I
oh,
grew
go
up with a
ahead.
lot of Robin Williams. He was definitely my favorite human growing up.
He was one of my favorite humans too. And there's two Mindys on this call. So we remember Mork and Mindy. Best show ever. Um, but yeah, where are you experiencing chaos, pressure, burnout, where it feels like no matter how much you do, you're never going to catch up? And feel free to drop some of those in the chat. I'd love to hear what some of you are coming up with as far as overwhelm. Just pull up the chat here. Sarah says her daughter going back to school, to public school, and then the housework. Yeah. And so then what can we do to not feel overwhelmed in those areas? Especially, oh yeah, and Lisa sending her son to college. That's a hard one. And it's a hard one. I remember the days when my girls were getting ready to go to school, and there's overwhelm and there's also a sadness because all of a sudden your babies are growing up. Yeah, Lisa, caregiving, grandchildren. Lisa gives back so much to her grandchildren, her granddaughters, and really, you know, she's a caregiver on top of running her own business, on top of, trying to help out with the girls because she wants to spend time with them. Yeah, Casey sending her kids to school, her ex-husband coming to stay with her so she can caregive for her ex-husband while she's taking care of two little kids. See, there's a lot of pressure in all of these things. And what we want to look at is how can we set boundaries, not just around our time, but around our emotional energy. How can we protect that energy so that we're not feeling overwhelmed despite what's going on in the world around us? The second is unworthiness. Unworthiness is that feeling like we don't deserve the wealth and abundance. And when we don't feel deserving, we're creating energetic boundaries, energetic blocks, and we're blocking the channel of receiving those things into our life. So where are you feeling those feelings like, who am I? And I can tell you, when I was in the network marketing business, I was working with a woman who, absolutely stunning. Um, you know, I always say she's 6 foot tall, but maybe she was like 5'10". You know, had that Icelandic blonde, very well spoken, had lived and worked on Wall Street, all the stuff. And so I felt very insignificant. And it wasn't her. In fact, she was amazing and saying, like really, really feeding my soul on showing me that, hey, you have this too. But I couldn't hear her because I lived in a world where I felt like I didn't have what it took to ever have the kind of success that this woman had. And so I think many of us do deal with that, where maybe we don't feel worthy in some way, shape, or form. And how about guilt and resistance? Where do you feel guilt and resistance in your lives? So sometimes you sabotage yourself from receiving because there's a resistance, and that resistance could come from, I know my parents, I grew up in a, poor household, and, we didn't grow up with money. And so my parents had belief systems around people with money. So I grew up with these belief systems in my life that, bad, or, people who had money were bad, they were greedy, they were some choice names that my dad used to use, and here's the thing, it was the 1970s, and most people were not in the situation where they had a ton of money, but everybody could live comfortably for the most part, even those without a lot of money. And so, I mean, you could still afford to buy a car, put food on the table, one parent working for the most part. But yet I grew up around those beliefs. So I had a resistance and a fear around money because I never wanted to be seen as being greedy, as being selfish, or, many people have the fear that, if I get the money, somebody's going to take it. Everybody's going to want something from me. And these are hidden beliefs that we don't even realize that we have. And then one of the last blocks there's a lot of blocks that we can have, but one of the last ones I want to talk about today, that's a big one that we talk about in the coaching programs that I have, is forgiveness. When we are holding on to past hurt and resentment, it blocks the flow of abundance. And forgiving ourselves and others actually clears that channel to be able to receive. And here's the thing. You may not even know, you may think I did the forgiveness work, but I promise you, if you get triggered around that word, or if you get triggered when you hear words or you hear someone's name or you think of that person, when you're throwing blame, this person did that to me, this experience, whether it was the market crashing or whatever, you still have forgiveness work to do. And so we really want to look at, where are we holding that flow of abundance back? Because we're hanging on to our victimized self. We're hanging on to that person who was hurt, who was shamed, who was maybe betrayed in some way. That's our victim showing up. And your victim is going to be your worst enemy. So anybody have any thoughts around these things as I'm talking about them? Like I said, I love interactive, so please jump on and share.
Mindy, I was just going to say on the unworthiness part, I think that gets masked bigger than anything. Because, you know, like when we all read, or some of us read the Worthy book and that did the workbook and worthiness and all that, which is very good. It's good work, but I just think that gets masked. I think that even for myself, I can say it's been successful in the past, or I've done, you know, great things or whatever. But I wonder if that is I question if that's a block for me, you know, but I think it does get masked with lots and lots of people somewhere under the stuff, you know?
I think you're absolutely right, Lisa. And so for those of you who don't know Lisa was a model back in the day, and she created an amazing business, an amazing business in network marketing. And life things happened. And same happened for me. I had this amazing real estate business where I was rocking well into the six figures, and suddenly the market crashed and things happened in my life. And I created that story that I wasn't worthy of having it back. But I didn't even know.
I think that's right too, Mindy, because I did real estate, I did mortgages, I made six figures and all of that as well. Then the market crashed, correct?
Yes.
That also did a big jolt on a lot of people, whereas COVID did a big jolt on a lot of people. When people went into isolation because of COVID, that also did a big pushback on people and their sense of significance, being isolated so long, you know?
Exactly. And that's why we want to look at these things, because where are we unintentionally carrying these things around with us? And see, the worthiness, you can see how when we're talking about not feeling worthy because we created a story around the event that happened, and then we don't realize we're harboring a lot of maybe disappointment, resentment, anger at ourselves for not doing better during that time, or whatever that might be. And it could have been a car accident. It could have been, a breakup that sent you reeling. It could have been anything. For us, it was the financial crash in 2008 and 9. But there's so many things that can take us backwards in life. And if we make it mean something, then if we're holding on to that thing, it is holding us back. And so the worthiness then leads to needing to do forgiveness work, not just on the others who were part of that situation, but on ourselves. So, yeah, thank you for bringing that up, because I agree with you. Once that comes in, and it could come in so many different ways, and you could be like, well, I had so much confidence back, blah, blah, when this thing and when that thing. But if something took the air out of your balloon, how do we find that confidence when we're carrying that story around? So think of it like you're carrying this backpack full of rocks: anger, resentment, unworthiness, overwhelm, all those rocks in your backpack.
Trauma does that too.
Exactly.
Trauma is a big one. Now that I'm, you're reading that out, I'm thinking about that too. I'm thinking, well, yeah, if you were like all that and all these great things were happening, then you get hit with 2009, then you get hit with, you know, for me, someone dying, your husband dying, then you get hit with cancer. Yeah, it takes the wind out of you. It certainly does. You're like up in the air balloon, and all of a sudden it's falling. The air balloon's going down.
Exactly. So yeah, and those things cause trauma.
Yes.
And
But
so then we
I think
create.
it's
Oh, go ahead.
sorry, no, I'm interrupting you.
No,
I
you're
was just
good.
gonna I was just gonna add on what Lisa was saying. I think it's also important to realize it doesn't always have to be a big event. Like it could be multiple little things that add up into something that is overwhelming and causes a breakdown.
Exactly. Yeah, it causes us to go through what we refer to as the dark night of the soul. But the good news is, for those of you who have been through the dark nights of the soul, is on the other side is where the growth happens. It actually happens in the dark night, but on the other side is when we start to wake up to the fact that, oh, you know what? I'm now on this new path, and I'm on this new path for a reason. In fact, it's funny, I saw a Facebook post earlier today, and the guy was talking about how what was one of the worst things that he thought could happen. He was supposed to close on his house, and then come to find out something with the HOA, the money wasn't in the HOA thing, and he couldn't close on the house. And he was so upset, went to the bar, had a few drinks, met a woman, and they're getting married now, just a few short years later. So what seemed like a terrible thing led him to the path of the love of his life. And so, and this is a guy who's in his 50s. It's not like he's a spring chicken, right? He's in his 50s and maybe even a little bit older. But that's what we call the bridge of incidents. Sometimes on our manifestation path, the bridge of incidents happens. And that's when some bad things might happen. And we can be open to the fact that it's pointing us in a new direction. And be open to the fact that that new direction might be so much better than what we had in mind. I mean, a house or the love of your life. There's a lot of houses out there, right? But he met the love of his life. So how cool is that? So, so tomorrow, this is one of the exercises that I'm going to put in the Facebook group. But what I would like for you to do tomorrow, or between today and tomorrow, and this is why I wanted you to start jotting these things down, these blocks down, is I want you to journal around some of these events and journal around what you made it mean. Because sometimes we make it mean that we're not good enough. Sometimes we make it mean that there's something wrong with us. Sometimes we make it mean that everybody else in the world is causing us to have this thing, right? Everybody else is wrong and it's not me, and it wouldn't have happened if the market wouldn't have crashed and all the stuff. But what if it was just that bridge of incidents that's leading us to that bigger thing? So I want you to write down, what those blocks are, maybe what you made them mean, and how they've impacted you in today's world. And tomorrow, under the full moon, I want you to take those journal pages, rip them out. So I wouldn't write them in my best journal, maybe, a journal where you can rip the pages out, and take them out and burn them under the full moon and release them. You're releasing them back to the wind. You're releasing them back to the universe. And remember, this is a powerful time to do this particular exercise, both the full moon and Lionsgate. So as you're watching the smoke rise out of the paper that you're burning, I want you to envision those blocks leaving your energy field, and then do a little Reiki on yourself. Just get that energy off of you. Yes, release it under the full moon, let it go out into the sun. You don't want to keep that energy with you. We're releasing and stepping into our manifestations.
Mhm.
So once your paper is fully burned, or even during the burning, you could say, I release these blocks. I forgive myself and others. I open my heart and energy to receive all the abundance the universe has for me. So anything anybody want to share before I move on to our identity shifting portion of today's?
This is lovely. Lots of times I listen to just a meditation during Lionsgate. But I don't often journal about it and do this ritual. So it's lovely. The universe brought me here to hear this. I thank you and everyone else involved. And only one thing that Donna Eden would tell us during energy medicine when we wanted to rake something off of us, rake it off and out away from the body, not so it doesn't land just by us again and we pick it back up. She would say, shove it away from the body.
Thank you for sharing that. It's kind of almost like I was
Yeah.
doing it naturally, but I hadn't even thought about
Yeah, and especially throw it like in the back because we don't want it in the front of us because we're going forward.
Yeah. Oh, I love that so much. Thank you. Thank you
You're
for
welcome.
sharing that. Yeah, so the energy is real, guys. What Laura Lee is talking about is real. Like, we are energetic beings. We're spiritual beings having a human experience. As spiritual beings, that energy impacts all of us.
I wanted to add to that, when you talked about taking that outside and burning it, on the biblical side, which of course I bring that to the table, but on the biblical side in Isaiah 61:3, I mean, God says he will give us beauty for ashes. He says the ashes were a symbol of mourning, repentance, and suffering. The God's promises of beauty for ashes signifies his power to transform pain and sorrow into something beautiful and redemptive.
Wow. Thank you for sharing that. It's so powerful. Roots has something.
Oh, I'm so into this because I'm also on the conversation of transmuting it, right? I don't release things, I transmute them, right?
Mhm.
It's like recognizing the block and being like, oh, thank you so much for being here. How did you originally show up? What is this now encouraging me to propel myself forward to? So I also really love Laura Lee with like the raking away and putting it behind us so we're not trudging through the mud again. I'm like, oof. Just golden nuggets all around, and fire's all about transmutation. And so that's what we're doing. We're causing transformation within our bodies. How exciting.
We're
And it's a
becoming
full moon in Aquarius. So we're being very logical about the exploration of what's going on within our experience too, about what our feelings are. And it's not a bad thing to be logical about our emotions, just to be present that that's what we're doing right now. And then later you can be back to fully just feeling them crazily.
Roots is also our in-house astrologer and tarot card reader. So he's amazing. But yeah, transmutation. I mean, think about it. It's like being the alchemist during this next few days, right? We are the alchemist in our own life. So we're turning what may have been the traumas, the blocks, the unworthiness, we're turning that into gold and silver. And that's the thing, when you really learn about manifestation, when you learn how to take those things that felt like you were walking on hot coals at the time, and you turn that into your almost rocket fuel for where you're going, that is the gold in our life. So yeah, thank you so much, Roots. So, and with that, I'm going to put a little plug in for Roots, although I have not made it to one of the classes yet. On Sundays, he has a class that is free, and feel free to share that in the chat. Yeah, you want to say real quick what your class is?
Yeah, so what we're doing is I have a conversation around tarot talk, right? So we're talking about the various chunks of tarot and then how it also relates to our lives so that we're better able to understand the various mechanisms within tarot, right? It's 78 cards, and we just break it down into bite-sized chunks so that we can actually feel the energy of the cards so that we can also recognize it when it shows up, but also how to move through it, right? So a lot of what we're talking about today, we've been doing it week by week. This Sunday, we're coming up on the 6th card, so the number 6. So it's going to be a lot of fun, and it's going to be very successful.
Make sure to put your flyer in the Facebook group so everyone can access that, and in the school group so everyone can access. So thank you. So next we're going into, anybody have any questions about blocks, limiting beliefs, any of that stuff before I move forward? No? Oh, Laura Lee says transmute across all time, space. Yes, exactly. You know, we are breaking those, that heavy baggage. We're putting down the heavy baggage that we've brought throughout space and time with us so that we can live on this earth plane with freedom and abundance and fun and adventure and joy and ease and all the amazing things that we were put here to live. We weren't put here to suffer or to struggle, although to many of us, it may feel like that, but it doesn't have to. So that's why I'm putting on this presentation today. So I'm going to go into shifting our identity and how, and I've talked about this, I talked about this on my last presentation, how we can create that magnetic mindset, because that's where abundance comes in at. Once we clear the blocks, honestly, I'm telling you, once you get those blocks out of your life, and it is like peeling back the layers, trust me, there's typically still something down there that pokes the bear every once in a while. And then you look at it and you're like, oh, there's that thing. And so you release it, right? It's part of this growing process that we're here to do. But once you start shedding all those layers that were never you, that's the thing. We came to this earth and we were these beautiful little babies and we were giggling and laughing and all the stuff that babies do. And then we started bringing in all these beliefs and paradigms and whatever it is from the people around us that were never ours. And we started putting those things on and putting those rocks in our backpack and carrying those around with us. But what if we got back to the lightness that we had when we came to this planet? Stephanie says she just got goosebumps. But that's really what we're doing. We're remembering who we are during this amazing time, during this Lion's Gate, so that when we walk through the gate, we're walking without that backpack full of rocks. So when it comes to clearing these blocks, what it does is it opens up space for us to rediscover who we truly are at our core. So manifesting isn't just about wealth and dollars coming into our life, although that's a beautiful part of manifesting. It's about embodying the energy of the person who naturally attracts and commands that success in their life. And that success looks different for everyone. For some, it is becoming ultra famous and becoming the Tony Robbins of the world and what have you. And for others, that could be having a beautiful home and a family that just adores you and going on amazing vacations. And so we all get to look inside at what is our magnetic personality? What is our magnetic identity that draws the life that we want towards us? So like I said, Eat, Pray, Love. When I read that book, I'm like, that's the life I want to live. I want to be able to travel for as long as I want to travel for. And when I came down to Costa Rica, it was for 3 months originally. Didn't expect it to be 3.5 years, but it's been 3.5 years now. But I've also been able to do travel or not just do traveling, I've been traveling over this 3 years. I've been experiencing life. I've been swimming in waterfalls. I've been running women's retreats here in Costa Rica in the jungle and doing yoga with the monkeys and the toucans and all the sloths and all the things that are, hanging out here in the jungles. That was just a vision 3.5 years ago. It was a dream 13 years ago. And had I known some of these principles, I could have collapsed time, and I can promise you it wouldn't have taken 13 years. But my bridge of incidents was clearly a long bridge of incidents. So I had a lot of growth to do. Mine was going over the Grand Canyon. So identity is everything. You have to step into the role of your magnetic self, be that confident, abundant, and magnetic person right now. But we can't be that person if we're in victim mode. We're in victim mode when we're carrying around the unworthiness. Who am I to do that thing? Why did that person do that thing to me? Or we're walking on eggshells and we expect the whole world to not mention that thing around us because we might just get triggered. And, that's when we're in our victim mode. And we cannot get there when we're in our victim mode. So identity is everything. It means we have to think, feel, and act as if we are that person now. And again, that's different for everyone. So my idea of success was not putting on a business suit. I did that for the prior 25 years in real estate, putting on a suit, schlepping people around in my car in that hot suit with high heels on. My idea of success was chilling out in the jungle in Costa Rica. But see, back when I read Eat, Pray, Love, that was not even a possibility yet because Zoom wasn't even a thing yet. So see how like sometimes the timing also has to be right for it. But becoming that person now who's living that life will collapse time. When your energy vibrates at the frequency that your dream is at, that's when you pull that dream to you. You pull those opportunities, those connections, those humans, the wealth, or whatever it is that is aligned to that dream. But you have to become him or her today. And that's where Stephanie comes in. And after we do a short visualization, I'm going to have Stephanie come on and share, what this magnetic identity looks like. So this is what we call the magnetic mindset. And it's that internal shift that magnetizes our external results. So if we look around us right now, wherever you're at in the world, however much money you have in your bank account, whatever car you're driving, just know those thoughts got you to where you are right now today. So imagine if we switch our thoughts, if we do just some tweaks in our thinking process, what our thoughts today during our Lionsgate between today and the 12th can create in our lives 6 months from now, a year from now, 3 years from now. We're on a journey. This isn't like you get off and you're at this one stop and you're going to be at that one stop forever. No, we're on this journey. And a year from now, you'll look back and say, okay, so last year, this is what I manifested. What am I manifesting for next year? So with that, what I would love for each of you to do is think of an area in your life where you would like to manifest abundance. And think about the person who's living that life now. How does that person think, feel, react, or respond? Here's one of the things that we need to understand when it comes to manifestation. Most of us are reactions waiting to happen. And I believe that might be a Tony Robbins saying, but we are. Somebody says something in the world and all of a sudden we're back in our old story like that. We're back in our victimhood. We're back in the trauma or the hurt or whatever. And it could be triggered by even a smell. If you were in a relationship and that person hurt you emotionally, but they wore this cologne all the time, you could be walking down the street, smell that cologne, and all of a sudden you're back in that moment and you're reacting. So what we want to do is recognize that we are reactions, right? And when we can get to a point where that best version of us, that magnetic version of us is responding. They don't react. They don't lose their cool. They don't wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning wondering how they're going to pay their bills. They're not running around angry at that person because that person said something mean to them 20 years earlier. They're not upset with their kids because their kids are doing things that they wish their kids wouldn't do, or their friends or their partners or whoever it is, right? They're responding in kind, loving, generous, confident ways, because that's what a magnetic person does. They step into all situations with confidence. So think of those areas of your life where you'd like to see more abundance. Think about those areas where you can see in yourself that, wait a minute, if I just did this little shift, this little tweak in who I'm being, I could bring in so much more abundance. I could be the person who's living that life right now. Even if I don't see it within the next month or 2 months in my life, I'm pulling it toward me because I'm that person. And it is pulling me toward it, my manifestation. You have to remember your manifestation wants you as much as you want the manifestation, because everything is energy. So we're going to go into a short guided meditation, but have a clear picture of who that person is. How do they dress? What does their hair or their makeup or their clothes look like? What do they do on a regular? Like, I don't wake up to an alarm clock. I haven't had to wake up to an alarm clock in many, many years. Yeah, go ahead, Stephanie.
I was going to ask, I mean, do you think you want to possibly ask me some questions and that would give them an inspiration to what they want to think about?
You
I
know
think
what? That's a good idea. Let's
I
do
think that
that
might be a
first, and
good
then we'll
idea.
go into, yeah, we'll do
Yeah.
that, and then we'll go into the meditation.
Yeah, I think that'd be great.
So, Stephanie, we had a couple more people join, but if you could give us a real quick just introduction on who you are. And she doesn't brag much, but so I'll brag for her in advance. For those of you who join late, this girl has worked with celebrities doing their makeup and hair. She is a stylist. She's worked on the red carpet. Like, she's kind of cool, right? She even had her own makeup line at one point.
Yeah.
So she knows about identity. She knows about styling. She knows about helping those people who are in the entertainment industry step into a completely different personality or identity. So
Right.
yeah,
Thank
Stephanie,
you.
go
Thank
ahead.
you. Yeah, so I think the one word that you forgot to mention is that I'm intuitive stylist. So
Mhm.
I'm not just a stylist that, goes by, gets Gucci for my clients and this is what you're going to wear. No, I don't do that. I work I just really read people. Just like this is really funny. I'm going to share a story. A few weeks ago, but like maybe about a month ago, I went to this. I just ran to go get something at Marshall's, and in as I think I had to use a restroom. That's what it was. I ran through Marshalls because I know where it's at, and so I ran to use a restroom. But then I was like, oh my God, they have all these like new dresses, and I'm like, so I just stopped to look, and then this woman doesn't even know, but this is something that why I know I'm meant to do this, and I think my energy. This woman said, "Excuse me," she says. I hate to bother you, she goes, but um, I'm having problem. I'm having a issue trying to find a blouse, and I have these two. I'm going to be going to court. She says, but I didn't do anything bad. It's a family thing, and she says, but I just want to represent myself because I don't normally get dressed up. And I thought that's so crazy that she would ask me, like of all the people around, she asked a stylist, And I said, "Oh, this looks great on you because of your hair color," and you know. And so I intuitively, like, I could read her what she wanted. She was, when I picked the blouse for her, she was like so happy, like literally like she was skipping to the, you know, register. Like she was so but that's what I do, and that's what I love, because I'm truly authentic. Like, even though I live in LA, and I, you know, I'm not that typical LA person, you know, because I I do love inspiring and making women or men feel good in their skin. And that's really what I do. And when Mindy said she was going to be talking about um identity, I thought, oh my God, like, but this is what style is. This is
Mhm.
what it doesn't have to be runway fashion. This is style for you, who you are. If you're a mother, or if you're, you know, a Sunday school teacher, or, you know, if you're just a wife, or you like to just to work out, or you like all that designer stuff, that's that's who I resonate with. That's who I love working with. So that's about me.
Well, and I think what she's saying, it's exactly what I talked about earlier, is it's, you know, what does a millionaire mindset maybe look like to different people? You know, millionaire or not millionaire, I'm never putting on a tight business suit and high heels again, guys. Done. Not doing it, right? But there are many people out there in the world who thinks, you know, millionaire, you need to look a certain way. But Stephanie, when I went to LA for the first time and met Stephanie, you know, she helped me pick out some clothes that were Mindy style, right? Because intuitively she knows who I am. And one
Mhm.
outfit is like, it's my favorite flying outfit. And I get so many compliments when I fly in this outfit because it's so comfortable. But for those people who are new to both personal style and Lionsgate, I would love for you to share how the two connect. And I think you kind of shared a little bit, but you know, from the Lionsgate perspective, as we're going into this powerful moment in time.
Yeah, definitely. Well, the Lion Gets portal, of course, it's very energetic. So when it's a gateway to set your intentions and your identity and your soul alignment. And when your style and your beauty reflect your highest self. It really does. And through and it mirrors your inner frequency, which the universe, you know, is drawn to, you know, so it's really manifesting what you want through your style. Yeah.
Nice. Well,
Mhm.
then you talk about style alignment as a manifestation tool. So how does dressing with the intention, how does that impact the way that we attract opportunities during this Lionsgate period?
Right. So the words that Mindy's mentioning is because when I like my tagline is, you know, is because it's about intuitional styling. So it's like finding your, you know, your style alignment, your beauty awakening. So the style alignment is really, it's your choices, it's your version of how you want to present yourself, and it's how you align with your desire, you know, your desire, your energy, it's energy, dressing is energy. I mean, even like when you put on wool has a different energy than linen does.
Mm.
You know, that's why they say don't wear polyester, because you can't breathe in polyester. Look, who wants energy like that when you can't breathe? So you want to be like, that's why it's good to be, I mean, you want to know what you put in your body. That's why people say, oh, I just use bamboo. 100% bamboo. Well, that's great too, because it breathes. Your body gets to breathe. It's energy. Everything is energy.
I love that you're sharing that, especially like if you think of bamboo, and bamboo grows easily. It's a very good renewable resource and it breathes. And so I can see where that would have a lot of really good energy with it.
Mhm.
And I never thought about the polyester, like you said, how that cuts off our body's ability to even be able to breathe through it. So thank you. I
Thank
like
you.
the idea of a beauty awakening. And I do feel like over the last 20 years, maybe even over the last 10, how people are stepping into their own styles maybe more than ever. in
Mhm.
history.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, well, style awakening. I love when I the beauty awakening. I love when I put those two words together because I just really feel like it's I'm finally awoke, like I'm finally there. And the beauty awakening, it's a process of like just reconnecting with your essence of your own beauty, of you deep inside. So it's not the beauty trends, it's not it's your unique radiance, like it's what we
mm,
radiate out. And like someone just put here in the chat, like the woman felt my energy. That is the beauty awakening. That's what I feel like. um like today, okay, of course, the portal, like I today, like I wanted to share, like I wrote a letter to the grand Leo, and then I printed it on this paper, and then I wrote another one, but I wrote it out and then put it under my pillow. And like today I'm wearing white because it's your image. Now we talk about identity, your image embodied. It's
mm.
like, how are you going to represent yourself? Like today, white is clarity. Like that's why I'm wearing white. I'm wearing gold shoes. Like literally, here's my shoes. I'm wearing gold. They're for abundance.
So
I'm
shoes.
walking in abundance. I'm writing with a gold pen, like because I'm writing in abundance. And truly, if we really want to, I'm wearing red pennies for panties for passion. I've got this all down, and I sprayed beautiful perfume on me because I smell so sweet right now and delicious. Like that is what my intention is. That is my beauty awakening. That
Mm.
is what I'm doing for my Lionsgate. And we all should. I mean, we all, if we can add a little bit of that something, but I'm literally walking in gold shoes. I'm walking in abundance right now, so.
I just want to share that I'm actually having a big aha as she's speaking, right? So she's talking about the red panties and the perfume that she's wearing. We need to think about these things because if they put us in that state of abundance in that area of our life, right? So the gold shoes, bringing in more abundance financially. That's what gold stands for. Wearing the white, it's like you said, it's an awakening color. Here I am in my black shirt as we're talking about that. But most of us, myself included, I walk to the closet and I pull something out, and that's what I wear for the day, rather than what you're talking about. So thank you.
Intention.
This is
Yeah.
huge.
I made an intention of what I was going to wear for Lionsgate today.
Mm.
It's not every day I wear red panties. It's not every day I wear gold shoes. But it was my intention. I thought of clarity. I thought of love. I thought of abundance. I felt
Mm.
how I wanted to feel. And that's what I love to share with other women and men, just for anyone. Like, this is what I want you to feel. Like today, my son went first day of school, and I'm like, oh, you should wear a white shirt. I was like, he was wearing a black t-shirt. I'm like, it's gonna be really hot today. You should wear a white t-shirt. And he's like, oh, okay. And he did. I'm so glad he did. Because that's what I wanted him to wear. I thought, oh, it'd be really nice to wear just a white shirt today, just for clarity, clarity. But yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing that. And the thing that the reason I wanted her on, yeah, Catherine said thank you, Stephanie. Yeah, it's amazing, right? Like I said, I'm having an aha moment myself rather than just going and pulling out something out of the closet to really step into that next level of myself with more intention in alignment with the Lionsgate that is happening right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, absolutely
Yeah.
amazing. So I have one more question for you, and then we'll get
I
into the
was gonna,
meditation.
okay.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, when you embody that, like what I'm just saying, like I'm embodying the colors and what but this is what embodies the full manifestation. And then when you're in this, because even when I woke up this morning, when you know here in Mindy's group, I lead the morning calls, but I already had woken up like so on this that energy. I woke up in the portals energy, like that high vibration energy. And when you wake up that way, or when I was already dressed in my white dress in the morning, but that vibration, the universe is just waiting for it. Like the lions, you hear the lions roar. I'm like, hear the lions roar. Like really, you make this happen. But go ahead. What was your next question?
I think you kind of answered it, just embodying that energy, right? So when Stephanie came to one of my women's, well, she came to both of my women's retreats down here in Costa Rica, but the last time she was here, she wore this beautiful white dress as we were walking across the hanging bridges in the jungles of Costa Rica, right? And she looked so majestic and so beautiful in that dress. Like she was even dressing for the jungle guys. All right. And not what we would naturally think, me with my hiking boots and my green hiking pants, right? No, she was dressed like a goddess walking through the jungle. And she also does energy healing. She's a Reiki master. So, she was dressed like somebody who energetically helps people to heal. And I was dressed like somebody who was getting ready to hike up a mountainside. So,
I wore a dress with hiking shoes.
she did. But how does thank you so much, Stephanie. And at the end, we're going to share, and we'll share it in the Facebook group as well. Stephanie is going to do a master class on all this fun stuff on the 22nd, but we'll share all those details, like I said, at the end and also on the Facebook page. So, and it's totally free. So any of you who want to learn a little bit more on this energetic styling, I would really encourage you to sign up for that or reach out to Stephanie. But
thank you. Thank you. And I when we're stepping in, this is where I think didn't mention, or maybe I did, but when we're stepping in, when we're leaving, and I share this all the time, it's when we're leaving, we do all this work because we want to be better, and we're leaving all of that other stuff behind. And we're stepping into this woman that we want to be, or this person we want to be, but we're still dressing the same. And that's what has to shift. That really, you could have some favorite pieces, but when I go do a closet edit with with clients, it's like, okay, when's the last time you wore this? How did it make you feel? It's like a whole process. And sometimes it gets very emotional. People do cry, to release these
mhm.
clothes because there is emotional attachments to some shoes somebody wore at or um, but for us to move forward, we want to dress as her and manifest as that person now. So it's really important. That's a really important thing to move forward. So add that, even if you go get a new blouse or something, just that makes you feel good. How do you feel when you wear that? So wear that, even if it's not new. Put on that blouse that makes you feel that good.
I think you're giving Catherine some good ideas. She said she's getting ready to travel to South Africa. So
Oh wow. Okay.
she's going to look like a goddess in South Africa. So
yeah, maybe wear some different clothes. Absolutely. Yeah.
So thank you so much, Stephanie. And the reason, and I'm so glad you came on before the meditation, because you're right. I think it's really important that we start to visualize how would our magnetic self, how does that person dress? How, energetically now we have a better understanding of how he or she dresses energetically. So what I'd love for all of you to do is get that image in your mind, and then let's just take a couple minutes, close your eyes. I'm going to ground you into the moment, into the present moment. So let's take a deep breath in through our nose and then out as if you're blowing through a straw. Now take another deep breath in, and this time I want you to imagine that you're being surrounded by this beautiful golden shimmery light that represents infinite abundance and possibility. And then go ahead and breathe out as if you're breathing through a straw. Now go ahead and begin to breathe normally. And I want you to visualize yourself stepping into your future self, whether that's your future self as a millionaire CEO, your future self as the traveler who's traveling around the world with abundance. You don't have to think about where you're staying. You don't have to consider plane ticket prices. You fly first class, or maybe you're on your own private jet. Whatever abundance looks like for you. And imagine radiating the confidence, the joy, the abundance, and the clarity of being that person now. How are you dressed? What does that material feel like on your body? Does it feel like beautiful linen or bamboo or silk? How is your body? How do you feel living in the body that you have? Are you the perfect weight? You have vitality. You're excited to wake up every day. How are the relationships in your life? Are you living a life where you have magnetized your tribe to you? The people who are supposed to be with you are with you. The relationships in your family have skyrocketed because of who you're being. How is the money flow in your life? Not how do you get it, but how much money is flowing into your life? Is it abundance? Can you go to the restaurant and never have to worry about what the prices are? Can you go to the grocery store and not have to worry? Not have to look at the prices. You just go to the organic section because that's where you shop. Maybe you have a personal chef. What does your day look like? When you're living your very best life, making empowered choices, living from abundance and freedom, what does that day look like? What kind of home are you living in, or homes? Do you have more than one home? If so, where are they? What kind of views do you have? What is the decor? Imagine, just picture yourself living this life. You're in your best health. Your relationships are amazing. Money flows into your life effortlessly. Whatever it is that you're doing for your career or your work, it's bringing joy into your life. And you get to spend generously, not only on yourself, but on others. You get to give back. You're a philanthropist, and you get to give to your favorite foundations. Now, if any resistance is coming up for you at all in any of these visions that I'm painting for you, just notice it and let it go. Let it drift off on the breeze. Let it dissolve in that golden light, because the resistance is not real. You may be thinking, yeah, that's good for those people, but I've never been able to live that life. Let that go. That's resistance. And now what I want you to do is just breathe in a moment in time. Just take that in. Where are you in the world? Breathe it out. Who are you with? If you're with someone else, I want you to look into their eyes and see the gratitude, see the love, see the acceptance, because it's just pure harmony. And wherever you are in the world, whether you're walking on a beach, You're in your brand new home. You're in a cafe in Italy, wherever you are in the world. I want you to ground yourself in this moment. I want you to feel the breeze or the sun on your skin. I want you to take in the smells. What do you smell around you? Do you smell the salt air? Do you smell the forest? Or are you in a beautiful cafe somewhere in the world and you're smelling the food or the coffee brewing on your counter? I want you to look around. What do you see? If you're in your home, I want you to step into your kitchen and see the beautiful kitchen that you've always dreamed of. Or if you're driving your brand new car, smell the leather. What does the steering wheel and the console look like? If you're traveling, look around. Are there tourists? Are you at a women's retreat in Costa Rica? What is going on in your world? Just bring in those 5 senses. And I want you to feel the gratitude of knowing that if you can see it in your mind's eyes, you can hold it in your hands. So let's cross our hands over our hearts, take a deep breath in, and push those emotions deep into your heart. The gratitude, the blessings, the excitement, the joy. Take another deep breath in. Whatever it is that you're feeling right now, push that into your heart. And I want you to notice, what are those emotions that are coming up for you? And lock that in. Again, one more deep breath in through your mouth as you push it into your heart. Breathe it out. And know that your heart, the human heart, is the most powerful magnet in the entire universe. When we can connect our heart and our brain, being those emotions that we feel from our heart, and those thoughts that we're thinking, when we're in coherence, this is when we collapse time on our manifestation, particularly during this very auspicious time, the Lion's Gate. And when you're ready, just slowly open your eyes and come back to the here and now. Would anyone like to share either what you saw in your vision or maybe the emotions that you were feeling?
Joy and bliss were the emotions I was feeling. Some things I could see, some I wasn't, I was torn as to where I was. One of them, I was standing on stage. Another time I was looking out over the water. And I'm not sure if I want to rent or buy a place on the water. Because I feel like I want to live in 2 locations depending on summer or winter, because I live in Canada.
Oh, okay. That explains a lot.
Yeah. So I was a little
In the
torn there,
summer.
but the feeling of joy and bliss and contentment was definitely there.
I love that. And what if you could have both?
Oh, yes. Like that's where I know I've been thinking about that myself. I had it all planned, and then some historic flood happened and wiped out our cottage, our little piece of heaven where we had planned on spending 6 months of the year. And it was disintegrated, and the insurance wouldn't cover it, and you know,
I'm so sorry that you went
yeah,
through that.
yeah, and
So,
that was challenging for me.
oh, I can imagine. And probably one of those traumatic impacts, right?
Oh, it did. I got stuck. I physically got hurt 4 times within a month. They told me I
Mm,
didn't have a concussion, but I think they were full of baloney. But I just was in a turmoil for the longest time, and I was going on 2 years or more. And I kept hearing the word quantum, quantum, quantum. And I didn't know what that meant. All I knew was the show Quantum Leap from years ago. That,
yeah.
uh, but I was just like, I knew, and kept hearing the word stuck, stuck, stuck. I knew I was stuck, and got stuck there way too long. So it took me longer to get out of it.
Mm. So like me, your bridge of incidents was longer than some, right? So, and I get it. I understand. I've had a pretty long bridge of incidents, like I said, and a lot of it had to do with I was stuck in that victim mode. You know,
Um,
like, yeah,
yeah,
exactly. Like life happened to me and these people passed
myself in
away.
it.
Yeah, but you know what? You don't have to live there. And that's the great part because you've been attracted to this tribe for a reason. You've been attracted to these types of events so that you could meet like-minded people. So we're so happy to have you here. And yeah, just know that sometimes those things happen, just like that Facebook post that I saw earlier today, where the guy, he didn't get the house he wanted, but he ended up falling in love.
Mm,
So if we could always see that, I don't know why this terrible thing happened, but something good, something better than I could have dreamed of. And I know for myself, I'll just be very authentic right now. Um, I would be a multimillionaire if all the things hadn't happened back in that day because the property that I was in, what it's worth today, and all the stuff, right? And I do know this about myself that I probably wouldn't be sitting here doing what I'm doing today had all that happened. Like that bridge of incidents, sometimes we can't see why things are happening, but when we look back, we can say that's why. And literally, I have a couple of women who have transformed their health to the point where, one lady couldn't leave her house for 7 years because of having multiple seizures every day. And now she doesn't have seizures. She's traveling all over the place. She's started a business. She just wrote a book. Like all these things are happening in her life. And I realized that that's because I was meant to be here,
mhm.
right now. But oftentimes we don't see it until we're out of that. So I'm so glad you're here with us.
Thank you.
And yeah, thank you for sharing because, that's it, guys. When we share, it opens us up to a new level of healing. So, with that, we're actually going to end a little bit earlier today than what I thought. I thought it was going to be a full 2 hours, but what I wanted to share with you is the next part that we're stepping into is how we can take these two ideas, getting rid of the blocks, stepping into our identity to the next level. And so we're going to do a fun little challenge in the Facebook group. And I would love for each and every one of you to play along with this because what we're doing is we are increasing our capacity to receive. So oftentimes we're really good, especially as women, at giving, and we're not very good at receiving. So we're going to play a little game over the next few days, starting today. And what I want you to do is every day you're going to have a set amount of money to spend. It's pretend money, of course. I'm not giving out all this money. It's pretend money. Today it's $8,888. And the rules are you have to spend it on yourself. It has to bring you joy and abundance in your life. So what we're doing is we're putting our dreams on Facebook for everyone else to see. So self-care, upgrades to our wardrobe. I'm so glad we have Stephanie on here to share some of her wardrobe things. Um, where are we traveling to? Catherine's going to South Africa. So, maybe some pictures of South Africa. Like I know that's on one of, my vision boards is staying in one of those like really cool tents and, doing the safari and the whole thing. So what are those things that you would do for yourself And we're not giving it away. This is where we're literally doing it for ourselves. Now, that doesn't mean you can't go on, trips that maybe you're giving back on the trip during this few days, because that excites me as well, right? Doing volunteer trips. But I don't want you just giving all this money to charity, because there again, this is about us receiving and learning how to take it in. So today we're spending, and I'll put this up every day in the Facebook group. So first thing in the morning, you're going to see the amount that you have, but today it's $8,888. Tomorrow it's $26,000. Day 3, it's $88,000, again for Lionsgate. And day 4, it's $120,000. And every day, whether it's a down payment on a house, maybe you buy a new car, maybe a down payment on, a boat, or you're taking an up-leveled vacation. Excuse me. We're stepping into what does it feel like to be that abundant human being? So it's almost like a living vision board, what we're doing. And we're going to do it on the Facebook group and in the school community if you want to play along in the school community. So it's all about, there again, just loving on yourself, because if you can't love yourself, how can we expect anyone else to love us? Mm-hmm. So we want to let go of resistance, guilt, the stories that we have about people with money or wealth. We want to step into, we can have it all. We can be kind, generous, caring people and be very wealthy. In fact, believe it or not, some of the most wealthy people in the world give back the most. It's mindset of the empowered woman. So I can go to the group and put that in here for everyone. Are you in that group?
I think maybe, I'm not sure
Okay.
if I'm in the group or not.
Yeah, let me put that in here.
I'm
Yes.
involved in a lot of
Yes, Laura, you are. That's how I've gotten hold of you. Yes.
mindset.
Yes, you're set.
Mindset of the empowered woman. And I'll put the link right here. So
Can I say, Laura, every time I look at your background, this is my wallet that I have in my purse. And it's a silly wallet, but I just love it. I just put a little cash in there, and but it's just like an emergency wallet, but I just love it. It's just cute.
that is,
That's so cute. I'm Canadian, but
Okay.
they don't do a bunch of, I like our Canadian money because it's colored, but someone taught me I have stacks of bills.
Oh my God.
He gave me, I was at Rami Elbatrawi's home in Hollywood a couple of years ago, and somebody was there and they're passing out $1 million bills. How cool is that, Ed?
That's so great. And and when I seen your background, yes, it reminded me of that. But there was a purse because I'm having a pop-up shop tomorrow, and I had to go buy some jewelry, and I seen a purse and it looks like your background. It was a purse
Oh,
that had this big a rhinestone. It's really a big bag. Like it's with a rhinestone bumblebee. And I thought, oh, this is so cute. It's a real statement piece. How would I wear it? I thought I could just wear black and just wear that. And it's like a really cute evening bag. But now that I've seen the background, I think it's telling me to go back to get that purse.
I love that. And something that we do in our magnetic mindset course is we have cues. So we have cues that remind us of who we're becoming. So that could be a piece of jewelry, could be a purse that has, money on it, or a background on your Zoom, right? So we're looking for those things that will remind us to get in the energy of the person who's living their dream life right now. So yeah, that's our exercise. I would love for each and every one of you to play full out. The goal is to do this in a joyous attitude. And then after you've looked up those things on Google, and it doesn't matter, we're in a private group, so just use whatever pictures you find on Google. But when you're posting the money, be in the feeling, or the things that you're buying and purchasing, be in the feeling of the emotion that you're actually doing this, because feeling truly is a secret. And when you're in that feeling, journal around any emotions or resistance that might come up. You know, like, so every day, just take on a little journaling exercise, whether it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Did you feel guilt just going out and buying that piece of jewelry, or going to the spa and treating your friends to a spa day? You know, did you feel guilt for taking that amazing vacation, or resistance around it? You know, maybe you wanted to go with you and your partner and you didn't want to take your kids and you felt guilt around that. Like, journal all this out, because what it's going to do is show us where are we blocked. And if any anger, resentment, blame comes up, I want you to notice that, because those are your blocks, right? And remember, tomorrow we're going to have $26,000 to spend. So those blocks, you can burn and let those go. So anybody have any thoughts or any questions on the challenge? And I'd love to open it up to a Q&A. So yeah, go ahead, Laura.
Since today is the 8th, why do we wait till tomorrow night to burn the papers?
Tomorrow night is the full moon.
Oh, that's why. There.
Yeah, it's the last moon of the summer, and so we're really letting go of all this during that full moon. But today, what I'd love for all of you to do is spend that $8,888 that we have today on yourselves. Like, are you buying a new wardrobe? If so, post a picture of what kind of clothes you're buying. Or are you buying I don't know, maybe you're buying an $8,000 bag. Post that $8,000 bag on the Facebook page. I'm going to play along with all of you as well, because we're lifting the collective vibe.
This is interesting.
Can I share?
Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna back to Laura really quick. Like tonight for the portal for Lionsgate, it's more intentions, everything that you want, like everything you want to manifest. So it's all manifesting tonight. Tomorrow is tearing what no longer serves us. Everything is everything we want tonight. So we're living our dreams and who we want to be, and make it really, really big. Like our meditation was like that. Like I was like, oh darn, I forgot the private jet. So, but but exactly, that's we're saying all our intentions and manifesting with the Orion. Okay.
Thank you,
And
Stephanie. Yeah, I should have brought that up, because we don't want to bring the negative in today. We want to bring nothing but positive in. So
Anything we want to manifest, is there a timeline for it?
today, what I want you to do is journal on anything you want to manifest, anything and everything, because today is the peak, but we're spending 8,888 today on just ourselves. And then, like I said, we're going to play with this until the 12th. So, yeah, maybe on the 12th.
I'm good for the economy. I don't have a problem spending.
I think we should all be good for the economy.
and until the 12th. So we only have so we're missing one amount. So we got
I didn't put anything in for the 12th, so I'm going to do that.
500,000.
That's a great idea.
Okay.
Or 888,000. For the 12th, we have to put something down for the 5th day. I only went 4 days, but we'll go 5 days out. And I'll be going live every day but Sunday on Facebook. And Sunday I'll go live, but I don't know what time.
It's just my computer. I need to refresh it. I'm getting garbly sounds. I don't know if I sound that way or not. But
no,
can
you sound
put
nice
the
and
number
clear.
in the chat for the 5th day for the 12th?
Yeah, it's going to be in the Facebook group.
Okay.
Yeah, but we're thinking 500,000.
800?
Yeah, let's go with 800. 888.
Okay.
888,000.
Yes. It's
Wow.
Lionsgate. We got to stick with
home.
we got to stick with our 8s on Lionsgate. So Shelley, you wanted to share something.
Oh, I was just laughing because I am taking my car into the dealership today to get an oil change. I never go to the dealership, but they send out this coupon for $20. And I thought that has to be wrong because it's for synthetic, which is normally like 100. So I'm driving to Daytona to take my car in for this deal. And my mom was like, well, why are they been trying to sell me a car for like years, and they finally gave up because they sent me a million things. But I was like, I don't know. My mom's like, well, just look around and talk to them and see what you can make happen. And then I come on this call and it's like,
Drive to Sebring instead. When you're ready for a car, drive to Sebring.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It's Toyota, my son's place. I'll make sure you get good, taken care of.
Okay. Because do they sell Lexus there?
Or let him find what you need. That's all.
Yeah. Okay. I'll do that.
But go shopping.
Yes,
anyway.
I'm gonna shop
Visualize it.
today.
Visualize it first. Yeah.
Visualize and manifest. Yep.
Yeah.
Because my poor
Well, and
baby, she's 13 years old now, and she's still hanging in there, but she is definitely showing her age.
She's getting tired, huh?
Yeah.
So I think the universe did have you on this call today. So for a reason.
Yeah, because you know how I
do know. Shelley's got paradigms, which we all do.
Mhm.
So anybody else have questions or anything coming up for you that you'd like to share?
No, I just like that. I'm going to be good for the economy. I'm going to go back.
One of my clients said that to me years ago. I had
funny.
5 years as a certified financial planner, and we were talking about finances and stuff. And she pulled her hand, empty pockets out, and she said, "Oh, I'm good for the economy." And I said, "I'm going to keep that one."
Oh, yeah, I like that.
Sarah, did you want to share? She came off mute. No? Well, if no one else has any questions, we can finish up for the day. I want you to consider coming up with some powerful mantras over the next few days that are going to support you in your manifestations. We could also call them affirmations, but I like the idea of a mantra. But find something that really resonates with you. So something that I came up with for Lionsgate is I am open, abundant, and magnetic to all the universe's blessings. Because this is such a magnetic time period. And remember, that's why we came here as a group, as a collective. And I want to thank each and every one of you again. Oh, thank you. Thank you both, Lisas. But yeah, remember, it's this collective energy that raises, believe it or not, the energy around the entire world. And the more gatherings we could have like this, the more we can come together as a tribe and raise the energy. Because if there were ever a time in history that we needed to raise the energy, it is right now, guys. Yeah, we need to be in this sisterhood and brotherhood and really rise above all the anger, all the resentment, all the hatred, all the greed that we see playing out in front of our eyes. It is a time of an awakening. And there's so much abundance. There's so much abundance for each and every single one of us. But we don't realize it because we've lived with our blinders on. So it's so hard to see. So, yeah, thank you so much, everyone, for being here. Thank you for sticking around to the end. Oh, Stephanie's workshop is on the 22nd. You're on mute.
I'm sorry. Yes, it will be my workshop on the 22nd. And there and those who attend will receive a 20-minute call with me, just a connection call. And that's a great value there. So look forward to seeing everybody there. And then also 9/9 at the next month's portal. Well, 9/9, then I'll be launching my ebook as well.
Oh,
So
yay.
I'll post it.
Congratulations.
Yes. Month of my birthday, September.
Oh, cool.
Look at you grow. Look at you grow. And I want to encourage all of you, like, look around in your whatever cities you're living in, look around at the churches or the, in our case, I saw churches, I saw law offices. I look at places that you can donate school supplies this weekend for the children, because there's so many kids going back to school with their needs. You know, there's single moms that can't afford to give back. So, you know, I just want to encourage you to look around and find somewhere in your community that you can take from the Dollar Tree a bunch of school supplies, or if you can't do that, donate $20, but it might buy a backpack, it might buy something. But look for ways this weekend that you can give back to children for the school year.
Thank you for that reminder. You know, as someone without children, I forget when when that's coming around. So
Yeah.
thank you for that reminder. It's a great idea.
I've been seeing it on the news, and I know about it because all the churches do it, and I just think it's an important way that we can give back.
Absolutely.
But also, if you don't see anything in your area, this is what I do in my area, because I don't like I kind of live rural. There's a school not far from me. There's a couple of them, and I go there and I ask for a teacher, and then I donate school supplies to the teacher and just ask them to pass them out.
Yeah, because the teacher, as Stephanie knows, the teachers buy a lot of stuff on their own because the salaries don't give it. So it's but just as equal. Just drop it off at the school and say, give it to
because a lot of times, like especially at the elementary schools now, like they'll take all the school supplies because there's so many kids that don't have. So they take everything and they do it as like groupings. So like they take all the crayons and throw them together, especially the younger kids. And so if you just donate it to like the school, like I want this to go to first grade or third grade or whatever, they'll distribute it to the teachers.
Laura Lee.
Absolutely.
Thank you for the reminder on that, Lisa. I have not done that for 2 or 3 years. I used to do it every year. But something I used to do instead of donating flowers for a funeral, I would donate in that person's on their behalf that passed away. And I would go buy school supplies and donate it to the local schools.
Yeah, it's just redirecting money, redirecting funds. Yeah.
Yeah, and
I do it with books. I do classroom books.
For the better good. Yeah.
And Catherine said she donated to a school in Africa. So yeah, I mean, there's kids all over the world who and you know what we put out, we get back so many times over. And so the law of giving and receiving, right? So thank you, everyone. Thank you for that reminder to set these little ones up so that they can have abundance in their lives. Everyone, Playful Out on Facebook. You'll be amazed at what starts to open up for you. And I appreciate each and every one of you. Have a great one.
Well done, Mindy. Well done. Thank you, Stephanie.
Thank you.
Thank you, Stephanie.
Bye.
Bye. Happy Lionsgate.